Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant sci-fi concept, it's rapidly integrating into our economy, transforming industries at an unprecedented pace. From automating administrative tasks to driving complex manufacturing processes, AI's capabilities are expanding, challenging long-held assumptions about human labor. This isn't merely about efficiency gains, it's about the fundamental replacement of human input across vast sectors. As economists and futurists grapple with the scale of this disruption, a critical question emerges: what happens when machines can perform virtually all tasks more cheaply and efficiently than humans? Historically, technological revolutions have displaced jobs but simultaneously created new ones, often demanding higher skills. The shift from agrarian to industrial societies, or from manual to information work, illustrates this pattern. However, some analysts argue that AI presents a different paradigm. Unlike previous revolutions that augmented human capabilities or replaced only physical labor, advanced AI is increasingly capable of cognitive tasks, from strategic planning to creative content generation. This raises the specter of widespread, permanent job displacement without commensurate new job creation, challenging the very foundation of our labor-based economic models. If AI and automation render a significant portion of the human workforce redundant, the most immediate and profound impact will be on income. For societies built on wage labor, a lack of employment directly translates to a lack of income for individuals and households. This isn't just about poverty for those directly affected, it's an economic ripple effect. Without wages, consumers cannot participate in the marketplace. The traditional flow of money, from employers to employees, then from employees to businesses through spending, begins to seize up, threatening the entire economic ecosystem. This fundamental truth underpins the impending crisis. Modern economies, particularly capitalist ones, are fundamentally driven by consumer demand. Businesses produce goods and services, not merely for the sake of production, but because there are customers with the purchasing power and desire to acquire them. This constant cycle of production and consumption is the engine of growth, innovation, and job creation. When this engine sputters due to insufficient consumer spending, the entire system loses momentum. Companies rely on a continuous flow of revenue from sales to cover costs, pay employees, and generate profits. Without it, the viability of businesses large and small comes under direct threat. Consider a future where AI handles most production. Companies generate immense wealth through automated processes, but the vast majority of the population lacks the income to buy these products. Economists warn that this scenario isn't merely a social problem, it's a direct threat to the capitalist system itself. If people cannot afford to buy products, companies, despite their AI-driven efficiency, will face plummeting sales, leading to bankruptcies, further job losses, even for the few remaining human oversight roles, and a spiraling deflationary cycle. The very companies that benefited from AI's productivity gains would ultimately be undone by the lack of consumer demand. This highlights a crucial paradox: even the most technologically advanced, AI-driven corporations cannot survive in an economic vacuum. Their existence is predicated on a market of buyers. Therefore, in a future dominated by AI automation, it becomes an existential imperative for corporations to ensure that wealth, or at least purchasing power, remains distributed among the general populace. It's not philanthropy, it's fundamental self-preservation. Without consumers, there are no markets, and without markets, even zero-cost production becomes meaningless. This realization forces a re-evaluation of economic models that traditionally link income solely to direct labor. Faced with this potential systemic collapse, societies will be forced to make a profound choice. The core problem is clear: money, or access to goods and services, must continue to flow to people for the economy to function. The question is how. Two main pathways emerge from economic analysis: either governments intervene to redistribute wealth generated by AI through taxation and direct payments, or society transitions to an abundance economy where the very concept of cost is redefined by AI's hyper-efficient production. Both are radical departures from current norms, but both address the fundamental need for purchasing power among the populace. One proposed solution involves taxing the productivity generated by artificial intelligence. This could manifest in several ways: a tax on robot-produced goods, a tax on AI software licenses, or even a robot tax per automated unit employed. The premise is that if AI generates significant economic value previously created by human labor, that value should be captured and redistributed. Proponents argue this is analogous to taxing corporate profits or capital gains. The challenge lies in defining what constitutes AI-generated wealth and establishing fair, enforceable mechanisms without stifling innovation. The most widely discussed mechanism for distributing AI-generated wealth is Universal Basic Income, or UBI. UBI proposes a regular, unconditional cash payment to all citizens, regardless of their employment status or wealth. Funded by AI taxes, corporate profits, or other redistributed national wealth, UBI aims to provide a safety net, ensure basic needs are met, and crucially, maintain consumer demand in an automated future. Pilot programs in various countries and cities have explored its impact on poverty, health, and entrepreneurship, offering mixed but often positive preliminary results. The concept is gaining traction as a viable response to technological unemployment. Advocates for UBI highlight its potential to alleviate poverty, reduce stress, and empower individuals to pursue education or entrepreneurship without financial fear. From an economic perspective, it ensures a baseline level of consumer spending, preventing the demand collapse discussed earlier. However, UBI faces significant criticisms. Concerns include its massive potential cost, which could lead to inflation or unsustainable taxation. Critics also question its impact on work ethic, suggesting it might disincentivize productive labor. These trade-offs are at the heart of the policy debate, requiring careful study of economic models and human behavior. The second pathway envisions an abundance economy or post-scarcity society. In this model, AI and advanced automation drive production costs down to near zero for most essential goods and services. Imagine food grown by automated farms, energy generated by limitless renewable sources managed by AI, and goods manufactured by self-replicating robots. In such a world, the scarcity that underpins traditional economic value largely disappears. Money, as a medium of exchange for scarce resources, becomes less relevant. The focus shifts from accumulating wealth to universal access, driven by the sheer efficiency and scale of automated production. In an abundance economy, the traditional definition of value undergoes a radical transformation. If AI can produce virtually anything with minimal human input and almost no marginal cost, what does a price even mean? The concept of earning money to purchase essentials would largely dissolve. Instead, access might be managed by social algorithms, or simply become a given. This transition would require a fundamental shift in societal mindset, moving away from competitive accumulation towards collaborative sharing and universal provision. The economic debate would then shift from who earns what, to how do we ensure equitable access and manage distribution. The path to an abundance economy is not without its formidable challenges. It would necessitate a complete overhaul of our legal, social, and economic structures. Property rights, intellectual property, and even the concept of ownership would need radical re-evaluation. The political will to dismantle existing power structures and embrace a truly distributive model would be immense. Furthermore, managing the psychological transition for a populace accustomed to work and earning would require profound social engineering and education. This isn't just an economic model, it's a societal revolution requiring careful navigation to prevent chaos. Regardless of whether society opts for AI taxation and UBI or a full transition to an abundance economy, the role of government will be paramount. In the UBI scenario, governments become the primary mechanism for wealth redistribution, taxation, and economic stabilization. In an abundance economy, governments, or a new form of global governance, would be responsible for managing universal access, resource allocation, and maintaining fairness. This is a dramatic shift from minimal government intervention to a central role in guiding and managing the economic well-being of its citizens, ensuring that the benefits of AI uplift everyone, not just a select few. The implications of this economic shift extend far beyond national borders. If some nations adopt UBI while others embrace abundance, or if the distribution of AI wealth is uneven globally, it could exacerbate international inequalities. Developing nations, without the infrastructure or capital to deploy advanced AI, risk being left further behind unless global mechanisms for wealth and technology transfer are established. International cooperation would become essential to prevent widespread economic migration, social unrest, and geopolitical instability driven by disparate access to AI's benefits. This isn't just an internal national problem, it's a global challenge requiring a coordinated human response. Beyond the economic restructuring, the rise of AI presents a profound philosophical challenge. What is the human purpose in a world without the traditional necessity of work? If AI handles most tasks, humanity would be freed from drudgery, but also potentially stripped of a primary source of meaning and identity. Societies would need to foster new avenues for human flourishing, creativity, community engagement, and personal development. This isn't just about economic survival, it's about defining what it means to be human in an age of artificial intelligence, and how we collectively build a meaningful future beyond the constraints of a labor-centric model. Ultimately, the central economic dilemma posed by advanced AI remains clear: for our systems to survive, money, or the equivalent access to resources, must continue to flow to people. Whether this is achieved through taxing AI and implementing a universal basic income, providing a direct financial link between AI productivity and human well-being, or by fundamentally redesigning society towards an abundance economy where essentials are virtually free, the underlying principle is the same. The choice is not if we adapt, but how. The future of our economic system hinges on ensuring that the revolutionary power of AI serves humanity, not supplants its economic viability.